up, guys? Myko,
And Mari?
and we are the MariMykoCafe. And as you can see, because some of y'all were complaining that we don't have a cafe, puro chisme, we're here today with our coffee and our tea, and we're going to spill the tea today.
You ready?
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What do you think of my hat?
It's cute.
Yeah?
Cock. It's cute. I like it.
I saw it and it called to me. I thought it was
just
dope.
calling.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
pretty loud. I like it.
Loud, yeah. I got a beige one too. Looks pretty cool.
It's cute.
Yeah. So, yeah, we had a gig today. For those of you who don't know us, my sister and I, we are musicians, and we've been musicians since we were really young, right?
Yeah. How old were you?
When I started, I was 13 going on 14.
I started like 2 years after you. I was 11?
Yeah, you were pretty young. But we both grew up in a choir in Guadalupe Church out there in Santa Paula. And with my dad and my mom, her mom, and she's also my mom. She's my stepmom. Shout out to Cristina, my dad.
Hey, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, and yeah, we grew up in a choir. Fucking shit up there with God, you know how we do.
Yep.
Yup.
Still doing.
We still doing. We got our Bible right here. Where's the Bible? Oh, it's over there. It's over there. We got a Bible because my sister had a crazy ass roommate.
Yep.
He was the devil.
He was literally the devil in a human form. Human flesh.
Yeah.
Like he did the craziest things. Can't say too much.
Can't say too much because we are in legal bind right now.
Literally.
Literally. No, but you know, God works in mysterious ways. Last podcast we talked with Pulpo about it, and we got him out, and her best friend moved in, who is our manager. Shout out to our manager Vanessa. She's not here today. She's out in
she's on vacation.
Yeah, she's out on the rancho.
Literally the snake pit.
The snake pit, the 805. Shout out to all the homies out there.
Shout out to 805.
Man, I love Santa Paula. I love Ventura County. I love it. It's just like...
It's like a love-hate relationship, though. Because it's like, it's beautiful when you're afar, but me, like, since I moved out, I miss it, but every time I go back, I'm like, oh. I think it's just like trauma, you know, from
your partying days?
Partying, crazy, drinking days.
Yeah, this girl, she may not look like it, but she was crazy when she was 15 years old.
I was pretty crazy.
I heard a lot of stories.
I mean, it was part of the music, you know. We started off so young in the scene, playing music. You know, I was 13 years old, stepping stages, you know, partying with 21 plus year olds, you know. So, I mean, I did start young, but the people I was surrounded with were like...
Shout out to Curly,
Rosie.
Les Rosies, dude. We can go on and on and on.
Yeah, all the
shout
all
out.
the locals still.
They're still there. They're still grinding, you know.
Locals, yeah.
And it was yeah, like she said, we grew up so fast. We didn't really have a childhood.
We didn't. Instead
of going to like family parties and going to like gatherings, we had work. Because
literally every weekend.
The weekends we played in the same band but in different timelines. So my first band was with my dad. Se llamaba Aventura Norteña. They kicked me out, and that was kind of the point where I was like, you know, I got to do better. And I joined this band called Decisión Norteña. Shout out to them. They're still going. They're still going strong, man. Yeah. Hugo, Gato Negro. Topo.
Topo.
We recently played with them out there in Santa Paula.
Literally, we played in Santa Paula with them.
Yeah. And she joined a couple years after I left them.
They renamed their name to La Nueva Decisión Norteña.
Yep.
And they're still La Nueva Decisión. Playing every weekend still.
Yeah.
You know?
They became the new Clase.
Yeah, literally.
Clase Norteña out there in the county was like the band that always had the most work. Always like every party they were there.
They were popping.
Yeah, and they were cool. They played cool music, the Zacatecano style.
Super Zacatecano.
And yeah, so I mean, shout out to them, dude. Santa Paula.
But yeah,
I love going back home.
I love going back home too. But yeah, we started off super young, just not knowing where we were going.
I don't think my dad had any idea that we were going to become the people that we are.
No. He just wanted us to play music.
He wanted us to fulfill his dream. I feel like it was a little bit that, and now he feels like, man, I should have pushed them to do better than that. In his opinion, you know, my dad is a very, very ambitious man. So now, you know, music was always his ambition, and he pushed it to the limit and got us in it. But now he's like more into real estate and doing his thing, and we're proud of him. But
investing. But
we
now
always knew that music was going to be it.
Yeah, we've been here since, you know. I feel like we've had like little pauses, you know, where we stopped playing for a few months, like almost a year, but we somehow always come back. Oh yeah. I don't know. We come back, and now we're in LA.
I think every musician understands this about taking breaks. We need breaks, and we always come back. It's an addiction.
Yeah, it calls us, I think. I mean, I feel like
someone calls us.
Well, literally, yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Duh. But
always jale.
Yeah, but el trabajo, gracias a Dios, siempre está ahí.
Thank you.
Gracias a Dios that we have the talent, and people
we love you, God.
And people like us, are interested in us and how we play. So, thanks to God that we're able to.
Yeah.
Keep
we're not the
dream.
best musicians. I've always said that you know, el mejor músico le falta algo. You know, either that's the looks or it's the charisma. Because I've noticed that with the best musicians that I know, sometimes they're dicks, and sometimes they don't have like the best reputation. And I feel the people that have the great reputation and the charisma, you know, sometimes they're not as talented. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're not like as like popular.
I think that's so accurate. It's like that song, I don't know if you've heard from Taylor Swift, it's called Delicate, and then like it starts off like saying it's like what did she say, my reputation's never been worse, so you must like me for me. And I think it's just like part of, you know, being a musician, a singer, an artist. Like, yeah, you start having a bad rep, it's because people talk about you. People don't want to see you do good. So the more good you do, the more they're going to talk. The more good they're going to talk, the more bad they're going to talk. Yeah. So
you want people to talk about
you. So I think if exactly. I think if you're like have a bad reputation or, you know, a bad name on people's mouth, coming out of people's mouth, I think you're doing good because you're being talked about. Definitely. People love to, you know, rain on people's sunshine just because they're doing good or they wish to be there. Yeah. Or they don't work hard enough to be there, like some of us, you know. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like my dad taught us, you know, how to be humble. I feel like my dad.
Definitely.
There's a lot of people that think we're not humble, and they think that we're assholes or dicks,
stuck
but
up,
they get to know us.
O presumidos.
Yeah,
sorry.
Definitely, and they get to know us, and they fall in love with us. I feel like that has happened to me countless times.
Yeah.
And the people that talk shit about us or say negative things are the people that are jealous, and the people that
envidiosos.
I think la envidia is such an ugly trait, man. Like,
dude, and especially in the genre we're in the scene here, I feel like they feed off making fun of people, talking about people. They love it. It's crazy. I mean, me, like, I've obviously like met a lot of people in this industry, and being a female, it's different. It's not like being a man in the industry, because like you're looked down upon as a female. Like, females in this industry, like, it's just like in any other industry, like the man's always gonna want to be better, you know. So it's like where I'm coming from, it's like men in the scene, like they talk even more. They're so fake, you know. And I'm sure like it's fake for you guys to men, but like men to female, like someone would tell me, oh my god, you're so badass, whatever, and then I hear from another musician, oh yeah, he's talking shit, he was saying this about you. And it's like, you know, like it's crazy that
I think it's harder for you because you are one of the very few musicians that is a female, and not only that, you're successful, and you're beautiful, and you have a great personality. Le caes bien a todos, y la gente que no le caes bien, they don't like you because they don't like themselves.
You know
what
what?
I've noticed.
Yes. Thank you for those kind words. I think like me from where I started to where I am now, I definitely have grown a lot. Because when when you meet people, they're obviously always gonna talk, and they're gonna talk, but you're never gonna find out everything, right? And honestly, like I never really find out people talking about me, and I know they do, but never people don't like come say it to my face, or like somebody says like, oh, this person was saying. I never hear things like that, like it, and it's like, being like, putting an example, like someone famous, like Taylor Swift again. She sees all these hate comments, obviously she's a huge artist, but gracias a Dios, I'm never, because I take everything very personal, coming from where we come from. I feel like we're super sensitive.
Yeah.
And
well, it's hurtful.
It's so hurtful when I hear things. I mean, the few things I've heard of other people saying, like, it's so hurtful. I cannot imagine like hearing this every day, especially from people that like
that
no.
you like aprecias. People
Yeah.
you never thought would say.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. Me being in this industry I've never really like, I've always respected everybody, but I do stand up for myself too.
Hell yeah.
And that's what I'm known for. And
you're a boss ass bitch.
Yeah, people, I think like people know if they come tell me something, I'm not gonna keep my mouth shut. I've never been that way. And that also gives me a bad rep, because they're like, oh, she's a bitch, oh, she has a big mouth, whatever. But it's just me standing up for myself. I don't think I ever meant to be mean. No. I never mean to be mean to people.
I don't think I've ever seen you be mean to anybody.
But I think some people take it really personal, or they're like, oh, like this bitch, why is she talking to me like that? Yeah. But it's like, oh, why are you mad that I'm standing up for myself when you're over here saying wrong things about me, or saying wrong things about other people? Because it's like, I don't like when people also talk about other people or people I care about.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
Okay, so you were not like this your whole life. Like my little sister, she was very timid growing up.
I was super insecure. I'm still insecure, but
everybody is.
You know what? I never forget. Yeah, I never forget. I mean, because I think coming from a family, like my mom's side of the family, where they're super quiet, antisocial people. Well, some, because my mom's pretty social.
Mm-hmm.
And but like I feel like like she's good with people, but there's like some of my family members are super antisocial, and I feel like I grew up that way, and I remember like oh my god, this never leaves my head. Like I was in catechism class for my first communion, to do my first communion, and we were taking like our final test or something. It was a test, and my pencil broke. The lead broke off. And I was so shy, so insecure to ask for another pencil. Like I didn't have the social skill to like tell the teacher, hey, I need a pencil. So I literally wrote with the lead. Because
it was broken. And
it was broken, and I was writing with the broken lead because I was so nervous to ask for another pencil. And that never leaves my head, because I'm like, damn, I've come such a long way.
Definitely.
And things, honestly, it was music. I feel like music is what made me like grow out of my shell. Like, being up in stage. I remember like being so nervous up in stage. Like I couldn't even look. I literally had to look down. Like I couldn't look at people. I was super antisocial. But music definitely helped me grow out of that.
Do you think I was never shy.
I feel like you never been. You te nació a ti naturalmente. Like you were, I don't know if that's the word. Naturalmente?
Naturalmente.
Like
do you think that helped you get you out of your shell? Like seeing me, like.
It definitely influenced me. I mean, since we were little kids, you influenced me in everything. I wanted everything you wanted. I don't know why. Like, you like Selena. I wanted Selena. You had Selena CDs. My mom would go to the callejones, get me Selena CDs, literally. Like, you had the original. And I was so jealous. I'm like, why does he have the original CDs and I don't? But my mama, we couldn't afford it. My mom would go to the Callejones to get me like replicas, because obviously Selena has always been,
she's been a huge influence.
Huge, yeah.
Well, because I feel like clearly their music, it touched me somehow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, I do remember getting annoyed a lot at you because I would draw like the cowboy stars on my folder, like at school. We were young, and I would see your folder, and you'd have the same thing, and I'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Dude, I copied you in everything. Like literally, like Pokemon. Like you would get a Game Boy. My mom bought me a Game Boy. I don't know why I wanted to be you so bad. Or I think I just looked up to you. I just thought like, I thought you were so cool. I was just like, oh my God, he's into so many cool things. I want to be into those cool things.
I think it definitely was your shyness.
Yeah.
That you didn't find who you were,
No.
like, so you looked up to me because I feel like my parents, what were you going to like from my parents? They were always intimidating to you. Like,
yeah, they were always, I mean, I feel like they were so focused on their own lives. My mom like making her money, and my dad never being home, always working, weekends playing. Like él tocaba cada fin de semana,
every weekend.
I don't think, literally, like my mom once told me a story, like when I was younger, like a baby, like I didn't even recognize my dad because he was always working. So I feel
yeah, and you know what, I do remember that.
Yeah,
I do.
My mom told me that, and I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even recognize my dad because he was working so much. Like our dad has always like that. I think that's why we always want to work and strive for the best, because that's what he always wanted. And like a huge thing was us doing music,
For
like,
him, it was like,
for him, like he was just like, I want my kids to do this
because he couldn't do it,
dude. Yeah, like he forced me. I felt forced into this in the beginning. Like I remember, like I didn't want to play. I wanted to go play soccer. I wanted to be a cheerleader. Like I wanted to do things, but my dad's like, no, you're doing music. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, if that's what he thinks is best for me, then I'm going to respect that. And I mean, I'm super blessed, and I never thank him enough for bringing me into this world. But when I started, like, it was tough, how.
Heck yeah.
Remember Lico? Like Lico.
I mean,
Cada viernes
venía
y llegaba.
Un saludo para Don Lico, who
Don
happens
Lico.
to be Adan and Myko Juarez' dad. Myko Juarez was the drummer of the Kumbre Norteña. Adan Juarez, when I found out about him, he was with El Nuevo Golpe. And Adan Juarez, he really is the backbone of the Norteño con sax style here.
Literally, yeah.
And we didn't know that at the time, but Don Lico, he would come all the way from LA and teach me. I think he taught me first.
He taught you first, and
so
then
he would come. He sold me one of my first accordions, which was a Mexican Honer, a little tiny Panther, like it was a little Honer on a Eclecto, I think. And then I eventually went on my way, and Mari took over that role for my dad. And I remember that we couldn't even go outside. Like, we were not allowed to go outside unless we learned a certain amount of songs.
Yeah. We couldn't go play with our friends. We had a few cousins where we lived.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we lived in the little traila, like mobile homes. And I remember I always wanted to go hang out with my primita. And no, my dad's like, you got to practice 30 minutes. And I remember, like, after, like, a few years, like, I was probably maybe, like, 15, and I saw, like, some MySpace messages. MySpace? And I was messaging my prima, and I was like, my prima had told me, like, hey, come over. And I was like, wait, let me just go home real quick. I have to go practice 30 minutes. I can't. Like, I literally couldn't do anything unless I want to go practice. Like, practice was key. Like, there was, no going around it.
Yeah.
With our dad.
Well, my dad, no, he was he was strict. He definitely was
super strict.
And he was he is a very nice person.
Super loving.
Very grateful, loving.
Yeah.
But he has his trauma too. Mm-hmm. My dad came here to the United States at 13 years old, and para trabajar, la pizca. Like he doesn't know anything other than working.
No.
Working hard for his family.
I think, yeah, that's what he's always about, even till this day. Like, every time a conversation goes back to okay, what investments has he been doing, or what is he doing, like where is he gonna get to for this, or it's always like, what am I gonna accomplish next?
No,
What's next? What's next? What's next? And it's like I love talking to him about that, because I love seeing him happy. That makes him happy. Like, he is so happy where he's at. So I love hearing about it, but I'm just like, wow, like, no, I could never. Like, I have different dreams. I have different goals I want to get to, but he's stuck on that, and now, like, he doesn't want us here doing music.
Yeah, it's a funny thing, my dad, he doesn't want you. He thought like you could do way bigger and better things. For me, he's just kind of like, well, Michael's lucky that he's doing what he's doing, because I was a bad kid growing up. I really didn't. I was a black sheep. I was one of the black sheep in the family, and I really, again, because I was insecure, I gone through a lot of trauma in my life. So if it wasn't for music, I don't know what I would be today. I'll be honest. Yeah. But yeah. Anyways.
My dad definitely wanted us here, and I think like he's proud of us.
No, he is.
He's really happy for us. But it's just like, I feel like because how he lived his music career, he thinks that there's like no future, or we should be doing other things, like, going to school to be a lawyer or doctor,
Anything, yeah. Anything.
But it's like, Dad, like, you brought us here. You literally, like, since we were kids, you're like, you're going to be a musician, literally, like, we had no choice.
I think most people that are really good musicians now have that same beginning. We talked to Pulpo about him, and his dad had a lot of influence. Lechuga, his dad was a big influence on why he became a musician. Homero Sandoval, Picho, and Joey, their dad is a musician. Froilán, Alex Espitia, Chacho is a musician. Eron, Luis Angel, and Benji, their dad is a musician. So it's kind of like
an influence from there.
I think that's really kind of, I won't say that's the secret to being a good musician, but it definitely helped.
It definitely helped. But I think like between like our story and like compared to theirs, like, I mean, or compared to just musicians in general, like, some they put, okay, for example, like Luis Huerta, like, he didn't come really from a family.
Yep.
Y es un musicazo. And he wanted to learn.
Yeah. He learned from YouTube.
Yeah. He wanted to learn. Like, he didn't come from no background of music.
None of his,
right?
I don't know any of his.
I don't think. No. And like,
not only that, he's special. Like, mentally, he doesn't have the social skills. He is a very good person, and I really like the guy.
Yeah.
But he lacks that charisma. Like, but what he lacks in charisma, he literally can hear a tone of anything, and he'll be like, fa sostenido.
So literally, he just knows
knows the tone of a song. Like, he has perfect pitch.
Perfect pitch.
And I feel like that it goes back to what I was saying, that un músico con carisma y se mira bonito el güey, le falta talento. Y el güey que tiene talento le falta la carisma, le falta el... And it's really true.
Yeah.
It is really true.
I agree.
And, these are all musicians that are from where we're from, Ventura County. Locals and just people that have been, we've been lucky to be around and really learn from.
We've learned so much from them, I feel.
He plays with La Resistencia, with Ricardo. They'll be here.
They should,
one of these days. Yeah, we have a lot of people that are gonna come on the podcast. Thank God that we have great relationships. With a lot of people. Very few people that we don't. Right. Mm-hmm. Just expect people like La Victoria, Froy Espitia. We're trying Angel, Adverso. We're working on. The schedule's getting tight now. We're very blessed and lucky that all of you guys are supporting us and just showing love. Even just a view. Like, we appreciate that.
Literally, like, that means the world. Just you wanting to, like, hear about us, because I feel like we have pretty, I mean, compared to other people's lives in general, like even as a musician, we have pretty like unique lives,
very
and
unique
how
lives,
and
what we've been through.
What we've been through, like, it's crazy. We have so many stories. We'll talk about in different podcasts. I think because it's like too much.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot to talk about. But this podcast really is an introduction to who we are and what we're going to bring to the table, because we want you guys to enjoy the show as well. Yeah. And not just hear everything that has gone in our lives. Some things we want to keep to ourselves, you know, they're good memories.
Good memories.
Like El Girasol. There's very few people that know this story, but yeah, I mean, if you guys have ever been kicked off a stage mid-gig, like, you guys know the feeling.
Yeah, literally.
You know, but it's humble beginnings, and La Última Prueba, which was our band, our original band, went through a lot, and it taught us a lot.
I mean, we were kids. Do you remember practicing right there behind? What store was it? I don't even know.
Now it's Mi Pueblito, el nuevo Mi Pueblito.
Oh, it's not Mi Pueblito. Yeah. Oh, really? Wow.
So
remember, like, practicing in that studio, and we literally painted it, and it was like full of mold.
And like a few times a year there'd be like maggots everywhere. And
but we were like so happy there.
It
was a little room.
Yeah, the little room in the back. We painted the room.
And then we went across. Oh my God, so many memories there. Oh my God.
We were crazy kids, man, because I just went and asked like the closest people to my life, hey, I need musicians. I need a bass player. I need a bajo quintero. I need a sax, and I need a drummer. Are you down? Mm-hmm. And shout out to Michael Reyes, Alex Mesa, my cousin Noe, my cousin Julio, my cousin Juan Chompis. They were all...
Cisneros?
Oh, yeah, George Cisneros. He came after. I'm saying like the humble beginnings where we would practice 8 hours a day.
Dude, we would practice so much.
And like it never helped us. We were just
like...
I know. It was so much fun, but it was just like a waste of time, to be honest. Because
you remember that video? Do you remember that video we took? Or I don't even know who took it. Que casualidad. Well, with sax, and who were you the one who recorded from the bottom and then it went like this?
My dad loved that song.
Yeah,
he told me, he came up to, he's like, man, that shit's badass. My dad was always supportive. Like he tells me a story. Well, on our first gig, it was in the back of my tío Jorge's house. It was our first gig ever.
Oh my God.
And we had these, I thought we were so cool. We had these cool blue shirts.
From the Callejones?
From the
Callejones. Crosses?
With crosses and the vest. We had a white vest on, remember?
I got a vest too.
Yeah.
To match with you guys.
Yeah, you did. And my dad goes and tells a random guy, I don't remember his name, pero le preguntó al güey, le dijo, oh, se escucha bien, ¿no? And the dude turns around and tells him, bien pa la chingada. To my dad, dude. And my dad just turns around like in shame.
Oh,
you know, like my dad was just proud to see us play.
He was so happy. Proud. Do you remember when we played in Stecco Park? Was it a party too when I wore those ugly ass boots? Those gold boots, and we took pictures there? Or was it just pictures?
I think it was just pictures. It was for the album. It wasn't a
gig.
It was for our album Timeless. Oh my God. Which I'm in the works of re-recording and remastering. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a new version. Expect it soon.
Oh my God.
One of my also fondest memories, and it always stays in my head, seeing my dad. We had a CD release party for Timeless at Ruby's Cafe. And I remember when we were on stage, I was really sick, so I was really embarrassed because I really couldn't sing that day. But I remember just looking to the side and seeing the door, because my dad and my mom, they were at the ticket booth. They were getting the money from everybody. And I remember just seeing the door crack open, and it was my dad's face just looking at us. And like it was like such a proud moment for me to see him. Like I could see the proudness in his face. And it just felt so good.
Dude, I remember. How old were you? I don't remember how old was I. Wait, it was Timeless. It was who was in the band? Luis Huerta was in the band?
Yes.
He was accordion.
He was accordionist.
Alex drums?
Yeah, Alex drums. Julio played with his band fin de semana. that night.
And who was sexto? Noe?
Noe.
Oh my God. Okay.
Noe, and then it was it was you, Luis Huerta, me on the bass, Noe on the bajo quinto, and Alex Mesa on the drums.
I remember. I just remembered
I remember Chon being our manager. He was
literally.
Yeah.
I remember just like looking at the crowd, seeing like the primos, like Adriana.
It was a full house. Yeah. Half those people were in there for free. Yeah. I remember it was a full house that the owner came up to. He felt so bad for me because we didn't really make money. That I owed everything to the sound, to the banda that we got that night.
Oh yeah.
He told me to return that the next day. He's like, hey, you can have the door for the next day. Come and play. Yes, and we went and played for like 30 minutes, and we made the money thanks to David. David from movies. He really saved our butts.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, because we didn't make money.
No, we didn't make money.
We didn't know what we were doing. We were kids.
No, yeah, we were winging it. Just like nobody really knows what they're doing in the music industry. We all know that there's a formula that includes luck, money, and time. And unfortunately, for 95% of musicians nowadays, they're never going to make it because it's only that 5% that have that luck, that hit, that one time. And for me, that was Adverso.
Adverso, literally.
That was a risk that I had to take on my life. And I literally dropped everything in my life and went to Texas.
I know. I remember when you called me and you told me about everything. You were like so excited, and I'm like, is he really gonna go to Texas? He is not gonna move to Texas.
Everybody told me, they're like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, you're moving to Texas with these like nobodies. Right. Like, you're taking a risk on something. But in my mind, when I see gold, I know it. That's why I was able to play with ENG. That's why I was able to play with Kumbre. I didn't create it, but I was part of Privilegio's beginning. I started it with them, and I would say that 95% of most projects that I've been part of have been successful and are still successful. Mm-hmm. And Adverso is just one of those projects that it worked out, but unfortunately, I had different dreams, and I love them. I'm proud of them. They're doing amazing. Everything that we said we were going to do happened.
They're doing it.
And those fuckers are doing it.
Yeah. Yep.
I had to leave an opportunity with Kumbre to return with them and make really great money and tour and do everything that I wanted to do with them, because that in reality was my dream. Mm-hmm. But ever since I started the music, I remember the first song I heard from Kumbre and ENG, and it made me love sax music.
Yeah, I remember, growing up, ENG was always what you looked up to.
I loved it.
Always.
It was No Creo Más en Ti. Yeah. And you know who gave me that disco? Hugo from the Decisión Norteña. It was a burned disco. Somebody had leaked their album, and they had it. They're like, hey, listen to this. This is just different. Like, listen to it. And I remember just hearing the dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 dum dum dum, and I was like, I was sold. I loved Freud with that
song, huh?
I love that song
because I remember trying to learn it on the sax and how much I struggled because I didn't have. Now that I have good hearing, like
you
perfect hearing
now
I have way more hearing, but before, like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, where's this song on YouTube? Nobody like.
No, the song wasn't on YouTube.
I couldn't learn it from anybody. Mm-mm. I just had it like on the iPod. I'm like, oh my God, like I want to get this song out, but I can't. I struggle so much. But I remember,
yeah.
It was
Thanks Hugo,
and
he really helped me open my creative mind. And from there, shit, I never thought I'd be joining ENG. I had my first job. It was at Domino's Pizza. It was my second week there. And I got a phone call in the middle of my shift, and it was Froy. He's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm Froy. You're Myko, right? He's like, can you come to Mexico with us this weekend? And I was like, huh? I was like, what do you mean? And play what? He's like, yeah, can you help us on the accordion? I was like, hey, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. No. Absolutely not. I don't play like to your guys' standard. It's like, oh, that's cool. He's like, it's my birthday this Saturday. I'm throwing a party. Come. I don't know why, dude, but Freud wanted me to hang out with them. Mm-hmm. And I went. I fell in love with this family. I met everybody that I've ever idolized that night. Everybody was there. And I stayed till the next morning. I remember being like 4 or 5 in the morning. They were all drunk because I didn't drink. I was maybe like 18, 19. And I've never really drank or done drugs. Like I did that after I turned 21. And we were eating pig's feet with there was ham hocks, like from menudo and shit. And we were just eating it with Rosillo and with Freud y sus papás. And I was like, man, you guys like pig's feet? I was like, I thought I was the only one. Every time I tell people I love that, like people are like, oh, and I love them. I'll fuck them. I'll eat some feet. Trust me. Yum. But yeah, that motherfucker really old. And you know what? Not only did he give me the opportunity, he defended me against all the haters. I remember one time people were talking shit about me on Facebook, that why the fuck am I playing with ENG and this and that. Mm-hmm. And he went and he stepped up and he defended me. And it was just this huge like back and forth. And that's what Lechuga saw. Lechuga was like, what's up with this idiot? Like, all right. And then he knew that there was going to be an opportunity one day for me to leave ENG. And he took it.
He literally took it.
Yeah, I remember the day I met him. I was at Hacienda. He was very nice. How are you? He's like, let me have your number, bro. He's like, I'm going to give you a call one day. And I was like, take like, my money, take everything. You know, I idolized him a lot, you know?
Of course.
Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
come a long way.
To me, he's one of the kings. And I'll still say it.
Yep.
And and sure enough, he called me and went to Kumbre. And yeah, there were great memories, man. Hacienda is my home. I grew up there.
I know. I remember like going to your gigs on a Monday night to Hacienda, and I remember like I would just be like, oh my god, like he's really playing with them. Like I couldn't believe. I'm like, that's Lechuga. Like, you know, a band, you know, I looked up to. You know, I remember like when they came. Was it? Yeah, it was
Santa Paula.
Yeah, when they came to Santa Paula.
To la Casa del Mexicano.
Casa del Mexicano, they came, and we went after a gig. I think we had played at Hacienda, right?
We could have, yeah.
It was a club out here in LA, but I remember we rushed to go see them.
I know.
We rushed. We're like, oh my god,
I think Noe has a picture with them that night, and I was.
Yeah, I was like, we cannot miss them there.
Well, I mean, it was about 2010, 2011. They were at the top of their game.
Yeah. I'm like,
you know, like.
What were they doing in Santa Paula? Casa del Mexicano.
I mean, you follow the money, honey. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. You'll play at the shittiest places, and the crowd will be there. Yeah, they pay. They pay, and the fans are the fans. It doesn't matter where they come from.
Yeah.
And had a lot of good experiences.
I remember I had this that from that night. My mom, I think, probably still has that phone. We just have no charger for it, but like I was recording them, and I remember you looking at me, you're like, don't record them, you know, because you're like, you know, musician to musician, you know, you're like, don't worry. But I was such a fan, like I was fangirling. I'm like, oh my god, that's Kumbre, you know.
I always had that like the need to be professional.
Yeah.
And respected.
Always, yeah, and I was like, oh my god, but I'm like, it's Kumbre, you know. I was like, I've never thought I would see them. I know. They were so on top during that time.
And they sounded great. Like,
they were so
and they even played at my grandparents' 50th anniversary.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Rafita, rest in peace. You know, they were all there supporting us. They were all there. It's beautiful, beautiful. I love them.
Beautiful memories.
Honestly. Yeah, it's beautiful memories. Damn. Let's take a little tea.
Mm-hmm. Great memories, and look at us still here.
We still have great relationships. You know, we go through our ups and downs. We have our differences, but my dad's always taught us it's important to never burn your bridges.
Stay
humble, because you never know when you're gonna need somebody else.
Yeah, literally.
And you know, I want to address something, because there is a reason why we made this podcast. You know, like, and you know, at the time it hurt me. like a lot, and we still have our differences. We still believe different things, but you know, like Lechuga had it right. He was upset that I left. I chose Adverso over Kumbre, and I don't blame him, you know. But he went a little harsh and saying some stuff that I don't agree with, and so
That wasn't nice.
I went and recorded a video saying my truths, and I eventually decided to delete it because, not because I care what anybody thinks, or I mean, there was fucking 3,000 to 4,000 views that night, you know, like people saw it. I don't give a fuck. But I made this podcast because I want to talk my truth. Mm-hmm. And I wanted you to be part of it because you have been there and you know me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't bullshit around. I don't go and talk shit about people because I'm jealous or because I feel some type of way about them. And I'm just not the type of person I am. I love people from the smallest to the biggest. I can admit that I get cocky sometimes and I make mistakes, but I always own up to my mistakes. Mm-hmm. And Adverso just happened. I knew that Adverso was going to be a hit. I felt it. I knew it. I heard it. And I didn't get to record with them. Not because I'm not a good musician, but because our producer, our engineer, was hands down, one of the best, you know, bass players there is. So, like, why would my ego want to record something when it can sound better? Yeah. And it does. They still do, you know? And it was cool. It was a cool experience. I learned a lot being in Adverso. More than any band that I've ever been in.
I think it kind of did change you as a person. I think after you came back from Texas, I saw you different. I feel like you definitely grew.
I was definitely really sick.
You were sick, yeah.
And but yeah, you know, you have to grow. You have to grow because people are going to talk shit. Mm-hmm. People want to know what the fuck's going on. And I still have a reputation to stand up to. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm playing right now with Vislumbre with my sister. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoy playing here. I really like it. A lot of people are like, why? Why are you doing it? Like, your caliber musician should be doing your own thing. You should be singing your own thing. Well, I'm going to always do what makes me happy. And when it's my time to do something, maybe I'll decide to do something. But right now, I'm happy playing with Freddie and Juanito and whoever's going to join on the bass because our bass player decided to leave without even telling us nothing. But anyways, we're looking for a bass player or Bajo Quintero, whatever, if anybody's interested. But yeah, we love Vislumbre. Why? Because they're humble. And they're great guys to hang around with, and yeah.
It's like more like a family vibe type of thing, like, and it's always been like that even before you join, like especially with Juan, the singer, first voice, and Freddie, like they've always been super family oriented. So I think that's why, like, you know, we all get along very well because it's not just about, you know, business. It's about like enjoying having fun and making money,
and playing good music. Like, we're not all the best musicians, of course not, you know. Yeah. But when we play together, it's really nice. And I'm mostly, you know, I want to spend time with you.
I know.
You know, just like I spend time with Kiana, my other sister. Like, I want to spend time with you guys. Yeah. Because we never know when it's going to end. No. And I don't want to ever regret not hanging out with you. Mm-hmm. Or with anybody, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think our bond is just going to grow big. I mean, look what we're doing now. We have a podcast together.
Crazy podcast, and like people like it.
You know, people are interested.
People are interested. They want to hear. Mm-hmm. And yeah. But stay.
But yeah.
Anyways, I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. Have you ever like been through like a scary like experience, like a scary like paranormal experience, or have you ever felt like weird energies or anything like that?
You know what? I've never felt like anything spiritual. Like, hold on.
Here, let me fix it real quick. Give us a little breakcito. Yeah, it's because the palo's right here. Huh? We'll just fix it real quick.
Oh, that's why. There you go.
That's cool. You felt what?
Not too much in my face, huh? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I've never experienced like a spirit. I think like you know how people have those paranormal experiences, like, oh, I saw this, or I remember that time at Gramo de Oro when Noe was like, he saw something and he was like, I'm getting out of here. And
yeah, so we used to practice at this nightclub. At this nightclub, it used to be called Cazadores.
Yeah.
But there's a rumor that the owner burned it down to get insurance money.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. So they said that it burned down because of that. They also say that it could have been electrical issues. But they created El Gramo de Oro. Mm-hmm. And when they opened it, the owner of there became our investor in La Última Prueba, David.
Oh, yeah.
And he would let us go. Like, he would literally let us go in whenever we wanted. We could kick it there. Dude, he was a cool guy. He really trusted us a lot. Mm-hmm. And basically that night we were having a practice, and it's this nightclub. You turn it on and it's a nightclub. Mm-hmm. But in there were mirrors everywhere. There were mirrors that you could see yourself. And in the way back there were restrooms. The bar was right next to there. And I remember playing a song. I'm pretty sure it was like Fotos y Recuerdos or something we were practicing. Or maybe Esa Chiquilla. Anyways, doesn't matter. I remember my cousin. My cousin's one of those people that he doesn't react he's not scared.
No,
he's
not
just
really.
very shy, very cool. Quiet guy. But this dude literally desachufó his guitar and he just left. And we were all kind of like, what? And we asked him and he was like, dude, I saw a shadow walk across the mirror way back in the restroom. And he freaked out. I think somebody else saw it too. And from that day on, we never practiced there again.
We stopped practicing.
We started practicing there. But you know who also saw that? They started practicing after us. And that was Profecía.
Oh, Profecía.
And they're Los Careños now, who are also going to be on the podcast. They also have... I want to talk to them when they come on about that because I want to know what they saw. But they also saw things
some
there.
Things. Oh my god!
Yeah, and also Alex's wife Nancy would see things, and she
worked there as a waitress.
She was a bartender or waitress there. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but no, I don't think I've ever experienced like paranormal or like spirits. I mean, I am very sensitive to energy, people's energy. Like as soon as like we got this crazy roommate, now that he's out. His energy right away, like
he was diabolical.
Oh my gosh, he was something else. Like,
he was so bad.
Yeah, dude. But I've never really experienced that, and I know you have. I know even a lot. I remember like, when we lived in Garcia Street.
I had a ghost that lived with me in that room.
Yeah,
and
like
he would stare at me in the night.
Yeah, and you would show me scratches you had and everything.
Oh, yeah, I would wake up in the morning and I would
have scratches,
and I would
be like
on my forearm or on my legs, and I would always go to you and freak you out.
Yeah, and I'd be like, and I've never experienced none of that, or maybe in my dreams, but that I remember, no, I've never experienced that.
I remember I would have my DS and I would cover myself with my blanket because I could feel it staring at me from the corner.
Oh my god.
And it was big. It was big and black, and I just knew there was something there. Until one day, I went to Annabelle's, one of our friends' baby shower. Y dieron palmitos de agua bendita. And then I just got so frustrated, and I was so tired because I couldn't sleep that I just started throwing it everywhere and just telling it to fuck off and to get the fuck out. It's not allowed in my room. Because somewhere I saw that's what you could do.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I want to tell this story, and it was recently actually when I was with Kumbre, and we Pablo and Luis from Arverso were also there playing with us, and we were in San Antonio. Maybe we were in San Antonio, and I remember that night we were all really happy. We were all smoking weed. We were kind of drunk, kind of coming home. We weren't drunk actually. We weren't drinking a lot, but we were coming home or to the hotel with our engineer, who. Enrique, and our engineer was so high off his head, he put on headphones, and he was bumping this crazy like outer space music. So he was just chilling on the couch, and we could hear it. And those guys, I had to go to the restroom, so I went all the way down to the lobby, and I used the restroom, and I felt like weird. I felt like I wanted to get the fuck out of there and go back to the hotel room. So I was going up. I was like, oh shit, let's go. And
after you peed?
After I peed downstairs, I went back up to the room, and I was knocking for like 5 minutes, and I could hear them laughing, and I think they were just super high, and I was so pissed. I was like, "Hey, motherfuckers, open the door!" And I was banging on there, and anyways, they finally opened the door. I didn't talk to them. I was so fucking pissed at them. I just went to the bed, and I was facing the window. So let's say this is the bed right here. I was facing the window, and they were over there. Like that was another bed. So they were laughing. I could hear the music, and I knew why they were laughing. But I was already falling asleep a little bit. And all of a sudden, we hear a fucking bass, just a big old bang in the corner where I was, which was by the window. But the table was moving. And I felt like the table was moving towards me. I felt it moving towards me, and I remember turning around and looking at Pablo, because that's the person that I saw. But Luis was already getting into bed, and I see Pablo just staring, like white. Like I could see he's like, no mames, way. What was that? Because we could see this Pablo moving like this, and for like 5-10 minutes, way. And I'm not exaggerating. It wouldn't stop moving. It was something was moving that way, and we were staring at something, and we just felt it to the point where Luis, he just yelled at. He said, "Shut the fuck up and go to sleep." He said something along those lines, and we're all like, "All right." And I told Pablo, I was like, "Pablo, do you think you could stay up with me?" Because honestly, I'm freaked out. He's like, "Yeah, bro." He's like, "I can't go to sleep." So we were just talking. He started telling me how he's like he's like psychic. He can see the dead. He's always been able to do that, and I've been a witness when he sees something crazy. I could see it in his face. And where we lived, because we lived in Dallas, we lived in Sean's parents' house. He was always seeing like back in the 1800s, like old white people, and like he would see like little boys dressed in overalls, like crazy shit. The point being, we went to breakfast the next day. Well, it wasn't really breakfast because we fucking wake up like at noon. We went to the only place that was open, which was Buffalo Wild Wings. And I remember we were eating whatever, and I mentioned, I was like, "Hey, so what's up with last night? Like that shit still has me freaked out." Well, it turns out that in the moment that we heard the bang, Lechuga also heard it in our room, and he said that he saw a shadow shoot from across his room into the closet, which was facing our room. And like, I don't think Lechuga would lie to lie.
No.
So I believed him. I was like, fuck. And he was like, it was true, because Georgie said it too. So like, what the fuck was that? San Antonio is one of the most haunted places, like probably in Texas. Because I think right there is where the Alamo happened, like the big civil war with Mexico and the United States. But anyways, that was one of the craziest things I've ever been through, and it's a true story, 100%.
Oh my
God, crazy.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Yeah, no, I don't know how I would react if I ever even experienced like feeling something. And I always I'll sometimes, when I'm alone here at home, like I'm like, I wonder, but I've never.
No, when you feel it, you'll feel it. You'll feel the goosebumps. You'll feel the hair. It's like if somebody is like, just imagine back in the day, back in the ancient times with the cavemen, they were always being hunted by animals, by other people. So that feeling of being watched, it's in our DNA. It's like when a baby sees a spider, they get scared. There's a reaction, a natural reaction. It's not like seeing a dog or a cat.
No.
Like, they
see just something, they're like, oh my God.
It's in our DNA.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy.
I hope I never experience any of that ever in my life.
I hope not. I mean, I like it just because there's stories to tell.
I think if I was with someone, I think it wouldn't be as bad. But if I was alone, like, no, I'm a scary cat. Like, I get scared so easily. Like,
Kiana's the same way, dude.
Yeah.
Kiana won't even see scary movies, dude.
See, I love scary movies. I really enjoy watching them.
I do too.
But yeah, I've never experienced, like, how they're, people would have haunted. Remember that time when we went to the Wheeler Canyon with Vicky?
Oh yeah.
And
the car wouldn't turn on.
She had a dog. Yeah, she had one of the dogs that Munya had. Remember? We gave her one, or
Oh,
she
yeah.
bought one or something from ours. But like we were passing it, I don't know how far we went to, and then it starts throwing up, and we're like,
Oh, yeah, the dog.
Get out of here.
Well, we did turn off the lights, no, and then like she couldn't turn on the car or something. So, anyways,
I don't remember.
something like that.
Something happened, and we were just like, let's get out of here. We just left. That's probably the scariest experience I've ever had.
Yeah, but we were looking for it. We were expecting it, and we were looking for it. When it happens to you, that's scary because you freeze up. It's like you don't understand, and you're confused, and you don't expect it. That's fucking scary.
What goes in your mind? Do you think about God? You're like, God, how?
I couldn't think about God in that moment. I just knew that I was glad that I wasn't the only one that experienced that because it was facing me. It was right next to me, that little table. But I knew that they heard it. If they heard it, then there was something there.
Yeah, that there was something there.
Yeah. It was a ghost. It was something. It was a spirit or something that was living in that hotel. For sure. Yeah.
I know.
Well, anyways, to change the subject, how do you feel that Mexico has its first woman president?
Oh my God.
I know you're not very educated on it.
I am not so educated on it. Honestly, like who I am, I'm not really into the news. I don't watch the news. I don't keep too updated, but I did hear about the president. I think it's,
Does that inspire you? Like, I feel inspired. Like, I feel so like.
Yeah, it does inspire me. I mean, I don't know so much of the history in Mexico to begin with. Like, their past presidents, but it's definitely like, she's making history, It's fucking badass.
She is
bad bitch vibes.
Bad bitch vibes, because she is Jewish. Her grandparents escaped Nazi Germany. You were saying, so that's why they came to Mexico back in the 40s, and they just stayed. They liked it. Where else are they gonna go?
You know what? It's funny, not to change the subject, but like, yeah, that happens all because I have a patient that she's Japanese, and she's 93 now, so I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
She's older than dirt.
Yeah, she's Japanese, but she speaks fluent Spanish. And then she told me just how you're saying about how her parents escaped what country?
Nazi Germany.
Germany, and they went to Mexico.
Yeah.
So the same thing. They were her and her parents were in, I don't know where they were at, but they had to go to Mexico.
They were probably during that time because it was also like a concentration camp with Japanese when Pearl Harbor bombed the United States.
I need to tell her. I need to ask her for the story.
Talk to her.
Yeah, because she loves to talk about it, and habla así perfectamente español, and she looks Japanese. Her freaking name is Haruko.
That's so cool. You should talk to your patients about that.
I do. I have a patient that was he was a missionary. Like, he's just really no mission. He's like 91. No, he's probably like 95 now. I'm amazed in their stories because, their history, like they were once young like us.
Yeah. One day we're gonna be able to talk about this.
Yeah.
And nobody has our life story.
No, just us.
Like, what other musicians that are siblings that have been able to travel and tour? Like, the only thing that I can think of is like Jesse and Joy.
Oh, they're siblings?
Yeah, they're brother and sister.
I didn't know that.
That's what inspired me to do Mari and Myko.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jesse and Joy, because I'm a big fan of Jesse and Joy. I love their music. Amazing.
Amazing music they have.
Yeah, but back to the president.
Yeah.
She is also an environmental scientist. She's a Nobel Peace Prize winner. She's very intelligent. She is the last president's protege. So ellos trabajaron juntos.
Oh.
Like on climate change and different like big projects back in the day.
Wow.
So I think it's super cool.
That's incredible. I hope it makes a change in Mexico and she gets, a lot of things
What we need
done.
is change here.
Ooh,
we need to get these fucking old ass presidents the fuck out, bro. That's why vote for RFK.
I don't understand.
Robert F. Jr. Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. That guy, bro. Look him up. Search it up. Para mi gente que habla español. El hijo del hermano del presidente John F. Kennedy está corriendo contra Donald Trump y contra Biden. y él es un candidato independiente. Se llama Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Y él va a están peleando ahorita para que él esté en los the debates, los debates, I don't know how to say it, para que él esté, y espero que mi gente latina vote por la persona más calificada para ser el presidente, que ocupamos un presidente que sea joven, que tenga metas de ahorita, de este tiempo, que sea una persona que le importa el environment, que le importa lo que estamos comiendo, lo que le importa no nomás hacer dinero y la economía, o sea, que haga las decisiones difíciles y hablar y es lo que está haciendo Robert F. Kennedy. Está hablando, si de veras se ponen a mirar sus videos, van a aprender mucho. Y ese espero que va a ser nuestro próximo presidente.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not too educated on him, but how old is he?
He is probably like in his 60s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's not too old. It's
how
better
old is
than
Trump?
80, probably 85.
My God.
He's 80. He's 80 something. He's older. Yeah, he's
That's
old.
That's crazy.
We don't need Trump. We don't need Biden. We need
Get
something else, man.
Something new, something different, huh?
It's hard, man. It's hard because this country is fucked up. It's fucked up and so divided.
So divided.
And for the wrong reasons, man.
I know.
Anyways.
I know. Like for example, like me that I work with like elderly. Well, because I have like 2 jobs, you know, but with the elderly, like you can see the differences in every person, you know. Some of them are, you know, like equal rights, you know, like
a lot of them are Trumpers
and a lot of them are like se nota, like some of them are racist, and they're still back in their day, you know.
Yeah, back in the day.
It's crazy how much you see it in the elderly, because some of them are like more like, okay, they were, it just depends on
liberals and stuff.
Liberals or like conservatives, you know. So it's pretty crazy.
I hope that we can continue to talk about these kinds of things, because yo creo que la gente se merece también ser inspirada a votar, a saber lo que es la verdad. Y yo soy una persona que me gusta, I like to investigate. I like to do my research. I like to learn.
Yeah, to learn.
That's the most important thing in my life, is I love to learn.
Yeah.
And we will continue to talk about these things.
No, yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like there's always so much to talk about, like, in what's going on in the world, what's going on in the government, what's going on, you know, social media is just like too much to talk about, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Because we have a podcast now that we could do that.
Definitely.
And give our opinion.
So we're going to leave off on this note. For all the little girls and even the older girls, like, what would you tell them that are looking at us and want to be inspired?
Inspired?
Like you as a woman and a female musician and a boss-ass bitch, a person of respect. What would you leave them with?
I would say be yourself. Don't let anybody tell you. Don't let anybody belittle you to make you feel less than you are. I feel like growing up, I got a lot of that. Belittled. I was super quiet, you know. So definitely music definitely helped me grow and become a very independent person. And I think I would just say just be yourself, and stand up for yourself. Don't stay quiet.
And love yourself.
Love yourself. And always have God right behind you. Just what my tattoo says, Dios por delante. God is always God. Have your faith, because he's always there. And he's the one that's got me here, honestly. So don't lose your faith.
Beautiful. Thank you, sister. Thank you for taking this journey with me.
Of course, brother. It's an honor. And I'm so excited for what's to come.
Yeah.
Honestly, we have a long way to go. And I am so excited to see what life and what God has for us in the future.
Definitely. This was the Myko.
No,
it wasn't. This was the Mari.
And I always want to say Myko too. I always want to say Myko and MariMykoCafe.
No. Okay. This is the Mari.
And Myko.
Cafe. And then we hope to see you guys on the next one. We love you guys.
Love you.
And God bless. That was such a good podcast.
Was good.
Yeah. That was pretty dope.